What's up, Snoop Reviews here? Yeah, back with the two most current chapters that are out till tomorrow. And boy, are they a doozy. Some really good chapters. So yeah, we got chapter 924, huh? And on the cover, you have Sentomaru chopping wood for an older bear couple. They're drawn in classic Japanese kimonos and drinking their tea, kneeling while they watch Sentomaru double hatching it, just chopping up all the kindling he can. Yeah, I wasn't too fond of this one, but it was alright. I just don't really like Sentomaru. The character's okay, but he ain't no shooting Maru. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so after all the chaos, Okabori's destroyed. We get to see Kaido, and he's just standing in the alleyway, and everyone's kind of reeling from what just happened, and they're like, single hit. Of course it was a single hit, all of his men are speaking to each other. It's like, by Master Kaido's club, after all. He's like, so people have theorized that there may be Koroseki in Kaido's his club, but I don't know yet. A little early, because it seems like it would keep him from going into his dragon state, unless for some reason he's built up a tolerance. I don't know if that's going to be allowed, but a tolerance to Koroseki, Sea Prism Stone, or if it's just, made of some other material. But they are on the island of Wano, and the men here, not just the men, but it's feudal Japan, so probably the men, carve Koroseki. They actually know how to carve stuff and cut Koroseki. So they can make, Sea Prism Stone bullets. They can make, if they wanted, but I doubt they are, but poneglyphs. And so why couldn't they make a club? It wouldn't be too impossible. And, so Kaido's just like, one of his men's like, he's still breathing. Kaido's like, of course he is. And Law charged in, he's like, in that condition, he's like, our only option is to, grab him and run. But right as he's about to, he gets shot with Sea Prism Stone bullet, like we were talking about just a second ago, by Hawkins' men. And he's like, Law's like, oh shit. Like, he's on to me already. And Hawkins is just laying it down for him. He's like, sea stones are widely used around the world. They originate from this country, actually. Like, the only people refining it to such a small size are craftsmen of Wano. Yeah, as we said. But it's not a sea stone bullet. It's actually a sea stone nail. So that's what they're using. I don't know why they're making sea stone nails. Maybe they're really durable. Maybe where they encase people, they really have to have sea stone, literally every inch of it. But anyways, Hawkins summons his Warbite sword, and so it worms over. It's that straw sword, and trying to take out Law, and then you get cut back to Kaido, who's got this grim looking face. And he's like, I can't tell if it's his unyielding fighting spirit or if it's some kind of false bravado, but he's been glaring at me for a while now. But to them, they're all like, he looks like he's unconscious right now. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about, Kaido? Apparently Luffy looks like he's glaring at him. And anyways, Kaido just kind of laughs it off. He's like, whoa. So we get Kaido's laugh. It's WORORORORO. But he says, throw him in a cell. He's like, once we break his spirit, he's like, he'll be a great soldier for us. Like, yeah, he may even be formidable enough, be one of the top commanders. What Kaido's probably thinking. But he's like, make sure the word pirate isn't written in any newspaper. Like, we can't let any outside influences mess with Wano and what we're going with here. So they really do keep a strong hold on how much information gets into this country. Pretty much none of it's getting in. I mean, Wano, I'd be surprised if people didn't even think there was anything else established outside of their country. There's just a bunch of savages out there. So anyways, these guys start passing out, And someone screams, he's like, what happened to you guys? It's like, this is some kind of joke. And so apparently Luffy uses Conqueror's Hockey, even though it looks like he's unconscious, but yeah, he just knocked out a bunch of those dudes. Shooting Mario's like, that's Lord Odin's ability. He's like, did that brat do it unconscious? And Kyle's like, you also have it. Conqueror's Hockey. Like, just like Kidd. Like, you don't need any more Conquerors. Kaido's fine being the only Conqueror. And so he's like, I'll take care of Law later. He's like, I'm gonna go drink some more. And he decides he's like completely sober. We're all bummed out about that. So he just rips off into his dragon form and floats away. And Law, we see him hidden in the forest. And he's kind of reacting. He's like, a nail made a sea prism stone. He's like, I haven't seen that before. Which this all got me rolling. Like, I think little power up for Frankie here is going to be sea prism stone bullets or nails, because he does fire nails out of his arm. So I wouldn't be surprised, since he's training with one of the most renowned house builders and just overall carpenters in Wano, that he might learn a trick or two and might be refining some of his equipment. That'd be a big step up, honestly. Sea prism stone nails would do a whole lot. And so Law is just kind of covering what the issue is now. He's like, we're in a lot of trouble here. He's like, I'm worried about Beppo and everyone else. He's like, I just can't leave that other idiot alone either. So yeah, he's definitely worried about Luffy here. And we cut back to Bakura town, and they're kind of just telling Hawkins, I think, Law escaped. It's like, Hawkins is like dead set on finding him. He's like, we're not letting them escape. And then we go to Okabori, and there's someone crying that they need to apologize to Luffy. They're so sorry that they wasted all their food, and it's one of the townsmen. It's just this old guy, and he's like, I just hope he won't feel responsible for this town being attacked. He's like, he's such a kind soul. And it's like, yeah, Luffy really does know how to touch the people. Really knows how to touch them, but he definitely struck with the people of Okabori. Then we see, it's almost like King Riku and I think it was King Cobra, Nefertari. Yeah, they both wear bandanas that were like tied around their nose, covering most of their face, and would sneak around. But it's Kinemon, and he's spying on Otsuru. He's like, I haven't been with you in 20 years, but he's like, you're still so beautiful. He's like, you haven't changed at all. But he's like, but our reunion will have to wait till we've, fulfilled Odin's wish. So, Kinemon's not going to meet Otsuru. Probably. There may be other circumstances that arise. Who knows? We're only in Act 1 right now. But, he's not planning on meeting her till after everything is said and done in Wano. And then, we get to see Ashura Doji, who is Shootin' Maru. Apparently that's just a secondary name he's been using. But Ashura Doji is actually the big chubby samurai riding on the back of the ox. I wonder if that is relative to some Japanese lore, because it's a very interesting character design. Not that he's just always on the bull, but like the way he's laid out on it reminds me of be some character from a Japanese tale. But nonetheless, I didn't look it up, and I don't really have grounds of how I'm going to look it up. So, we'll move along. Then, on top of Odin Castle, where Odin Castle was, the ruins at least, that are non-existent now. If it wasn't already ruined before, Kaido definitely took care of that. And Okiku's just like looking at her, she's like, oh, thank goodness, you're all safe. And I guess the ground is sinking right now, and so even though they got saved from what happened above, they're gonna sink to the bottom of the ocean. I don't know exactly what happened, if it was one of the ninjas or no, it was it was what's her name? Shino-chan. Yeah, Shino-chan saved them. she matured the soil. I think she has like a mature fruit type deal. She can make things older. And she turned the soil so it got loose and started sinking and sinking. And anyways, they pull, the rest of the Straw Hat crew out, and the hard pirate crew out of the sinkhole. And Kiku's kind of gonna tell him what just happened now. And so she's probably filling him in on everything that Luffy just did. He didn't think it was bad the 3 hours you didn't see him. Now after seeing him, less than 45 minutes, he's already captured by the Yonko. Nami just got done doing this with Luffy and Whole Cake. So I'm sure she's thrilled. But yeah. It cuts around again. It kind of just going all over right now after Luffy's fight with Kaido. And we get to see Inuyasha, and he's like, "Can you speak?" He's like, "We gotta treat her immediately." We see the broken apple on the ground, and it's like, "We're too out in the open. We need to go into the forest." Like, who could do such a thing to a child, Kaido? He's pissed. So yeah, they found Tama, and so it's good that they're with Inuyasha, the right people, and Chopper's gonna be heading that way. And so good doctor to help Tama get back to health. But news of Luffy Taro, Scuffle and Curry, extra edition. Read all about it. Yeah, it's spread out through all of Wano country, so it's made its way to the Flower Kingdom. And Frankie's like, "Oh, it's about Luffy." He's like, so I was wondering if he made it into Wano. Then you just get his face. Huh? He's just making these great faces. You'll see him in my thumbnail. I'll definitely throw one in there. The Robin one's really good, but I don't want to use everyone's using the Robin one. Probably use the Usopp one. It's pretty great. And so yeah, we have Robin. She's like, "Oh my, Luffy arrived in Wano." She just makes the same face. There's these awesome faces. And he's like, all three Ha's were written in the same way, so that's probably what the title is that Oda went with, the Ha. And yeah, Usopp is like, "Oh, Luffy, It's just such great faces, seriously. Anyways. And then we get to see Zoro, who's not making a Ha face, but it's definitely quite the face. He's eating some wasabi. I don't think he's enjoying it, but he's just kind of like just chewing down on some wasabi. Like, "What are you reading?" And he's like, "Oh, a samurai named Luffy Taro, Master Kaido." He just barely just spits wasabi all over the guy who's next to him. He's riding on this boat with. The guy's like, "Oh, it's disgusting." He's like, "Don't spit wasabi everywhere." He's like, "Also, you're eating too much." He's like, "Are you actually gonna be able to pay for this?" So the next day in Wano country, in the territory of Udon, and so like udon noodles, and there's someone yelling. He's like, "Beat the iron!" He's like, "Beat the iron!" He's yelling, and he's like, "We gotta make stronger weapons." He's like, "Make as many more as you can possibly make, so the capital will prosper." Like, "Your lives belong to Orochi." And he's like, "If you want to live, you'll beat that iron." So it's one of the slave encampments that's been working for Kaido. The men are just working him to death. Anyways, they see we get a panel of someone holding a poisonous fish, and it's one of Kaido's men. And he's asking, he's like, "What's in this cell?" And they're like, "No idea." One of the guys is like, "I have no idea." He's like, "But give it one poisonous fish," and he's like, "But make sure to remove the bones." He's like, "We usually use the poisonous fish when we're trying to kill off someone." He's like, "But it seems that whatever's in there is still alive." And he's like, "Yeah." The other guy asks, he's like, "Well, is it like a croco shark, or why do we have to treat something so nicely?" And they all turn because the door's open and newcomers coming in. And so it's Luffy. They're all talking about, this is the guy who went against Kaido. He went on a rampage and, destroyed a huge part of the town in the process. And you're like, "The tiny kid?" See Luffy's just got this pissed off face, bandages like all over his face. You barely tell it's him just because, we know what he's wearing, top knot, and you can see a little bit of his scar under his eye. But he's bound with Koroseki. He looks pissed. And, the other guys are like, I thought he'd be as big as an all-star, which are like the Calamities. And, Luffy's just glaring at one dude, and he's like, I'll make those eyes shine in no time, is what the other guy tells him, and Luffy just glares at him. And he's like, why the hell are they glaring at this, glaring at us? What the hell's with this? And, the guy gave the fish to the cell, and he didn't debone it. He didn't want to, do all the special treatment because he didn't think it was worth it. Now, out of nowhere, see something spit, and it shoots the fish bones straight into one of Kaido's men's necks, and that guy just starts spewing blood. And, someone screams at, he's like, I told you to take the fish bones out. And he's like, there's actually something in there? Someone else says. Like, nobody knows for sure. And then, something burps from within the cage. And so they're like, first things first, they throw Luffy in the same cage that whatever they were feeding the fish to. They're like, you're gonna stay here, and we're gonna break your will, and you're gonna pledge your allegiance to Kaido. Starting tomorrow, we'll push you around until, you want to die. He's like, we're gonna work you to death. So they throw Luffy in there, and nonetheless, who does Luffy land next to? The Kid! Estes Kid makes his appearance again, finally. And he's beat to piss. People theorize his eye's gone, because he's got one eye closed and it's all bloody, but could just be beat up, but it's possible, I wouldn't be surprised. And, Luffy just shouting, you'll pay for this, Kaido, from behind his bandages. Then we get the dun dun strumming of the I don't even know what the guitar would be called, but the very simple string Japanese guitar. And the curtains draw, and Luffy's kind of realizing who's next to him as the curtains pull close, and then we get Wano Country Act 1, Finn. So the first act of Wano Country done for the books. I think that was about. I'll have to look and give me a sec here. But I think if we look at it, it was Seppuku. Yeah, Seppuku, 909 to 924. So it was about 16 chapters. And that was the first act. Not bad. I wonder what the pacing is going to be like for the next arc. Because I'd imagine he's going to break 100 chapters for this arc. Again, easily. I mean, the next one's still a part of the same arc, but it kind of lies outside of it. But anyways, so that was chapter 924. And then we have, chapter 25, or 925, The Blank. What this one was titled as it's been translated now. The cover page, we see Perona, and the person had asked Perona and a group of black cats making sangria with all of Mihawk's wine. They had this big vat full of, orange slices and all these different cubed fruits, and a bunch of wine and all these cats running around. Yeah, cute little drawing of Perona. I think Oda's done a bunch better with her designs than before. I feel like her designs before were really cluttered with color and just kind of gaudy looking. But nonetheless, where do we start off? But the Muggy Kingdom. The ruins, that is, on the Grand Line. And this is where Mihawk and Perona reside right now. And it shows Perona crying as she reads the newspaper. And she's like, Master Moria is alive. Gecko Moria zombie invasion. She has hearts. She's all stoked. She's like, I'm so happy Master Moria is alive. And, Mihawk's like, yeah, I saw them. I saw it this morning. Like, why didn't you tell me? She's like, what the hell? You idiot. She's like, this is very important information to me. And Mihawk's like, yeah, like I care, man. And she's like, how many meals have I made for you? And Mihawk's like, I've cooked more meals than you have, for sure. Definitely like a couple. This is hilarious. She's like, yeah, but I help tend to your farm. And he's like, I let you live here. She's like, I'm leaving, okay? Good luck on living on your own. And Mihawk's like, stay safe. And she's like, such kindness. Don't suddenly start being so nice to me. Thank you for everything. She starts crying. She's just shocked that Mihawk's being so sweet to her now. And Mihawk's just like, noisy woman. And he's like, leaving now is probably the best for you, though. He's like, an interesting topic was brought up at Reverie. And so this really leads back. I didn't think of this. I'd seen other people talking about this, but I felt like making a point of addressing this. It's the Shichibukai are probably going to be ending here. We know that Fujitora was going to Reverie, and he wasn't supposed to be there, but it's not technically a military base, so he's allowed to be there. Nice loophole stuff going on there. But he went there to try and take apart this, warlord system. He's seen how it's destroyed countries and people. He's fed up with it. Now, granted, I think Mihawk's one of the better Shichibukai. He owns, a dead country where he lives. Doesn't really want to deal with other people. He just wants to fight the stronger swordsmen of the world. That's all he kind of looks for as challenges. And usually those people are already outside of the government's bounds to be like contained or anything. So he's really like one of the lesser of the evils. But you deal with that, and then we'll deal with some other stuff in this chapter. But it seems like Mihawk is getting the pressure put on him. They're gonna try and take him in and stuff like that. So he's gonna be fighting a lot, which is interesting. Dealing with Zoro being one of his apprentices essentially, and all that. I think the theory of Mihawk dying and Zoro taking on Shiryu of the Rain is probably more likely to what's gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Fujitora and Mihawk have a meeting between each other and end up clashing blades, but I think Fujitora will have a certain amount of respect for Mihawk after that, even though he's a warlord. I think really the only reason Mihawk's a warlord is just out of ease. He doesn't mind helping the government every now and then to, just have peace of mind at all times. Government, he just doesn't have to run place to place all the time. So, this is where this arc gets really interesting. We're still staying on the Gecko Moria theme here, but in the New World, it's called Pirates Island, Beehive. So it's kind of a crazy looking island. There's this big mountain that kind of tapers out and around. Looks like a skull, like a bandana hanging off of it, and eye holes. And there's a cityscape just built up all around it. And yeah, Gecko Moria, long time no see. Actually, one of my least favorite warlords. I know a lot of people either love him or they hate him. I really hate him, but he's not up there. I didn't think his character was that interesting. But he's got a new outfit. And so he's screaming. He's like, didn't you hear me? Call Teach over here this instant. And he's, squeezing one of Blackbeard's men, apparently. And he's just screaming, show yourself, Blackbeard, and zombies are rampaging all over him. And we see Master Pizarro, which I like this dude's character design. He's pretty crazy looking. He's like, how noisy. And he's just telling him that's Gecko Moria. And Pizarro's just like, why'd you guys let him pass? He's like, what'd you let him through for? And they're like, well, he forced his way inland, and he's annihilated the port, and apparently he's here to find Absalom, the invisible man who arrived on the island a couple days ago. So for some reason, Absalom was here. Now, holding this true with what's happening in Reverie, the time frame's kind of not exactly set up here, but what a lot of people understood that Absalom was at Reverie right now. I don't know if things have changed. I don't know where this meeting is happening. If it's, a couple days after Reverie, or if this is still right in the middle of Reverie, because it's only been from our understanding, 1 day since where we left off on Reverie, and that's when the Straw Hats arrived on Wano, where all this news is coming from. But who knows for sure? But I thought Absalom was gonna be at Reverie, unless he's just ripped off to go to Blackbeard's island now. But he's been here a couple days. But anyways, Avalo Pizarro. Let me get his full name and title card. It says he's the second ship captain, but according to what they found out on the what they call it. Well, I can't remember. So, anyways, from what they know from other information Oda's released in these booklets, just kind of giving like height, ages, a bunch of information that he's probably not gonna have time to touch upon. That he's already worked out. He just can't put it into the actual manga because it takes up space. And anyways, he's the Corrupt King. It's kind of his epithet. And it's just chowing down on some meat. Yeah, I really like his design. It's kind of wild looking. He's the dude with the horns on the side. Crazy Fu Manchu. And just kind of, he was the one who asked Blackbeard. He's like, why don't you make me the captain? And then I think one of his actual Blackbeard's original crew said he's like, or I could kill you. And Absalom's up on this ledge looking down at Moria. He's like, Master Moria, I'm over here. And Moria's like, Absalom, thank God, thank goodness, you're safe. And he's like, sorry, boss, he's like, this island's a paradise. He's like, I forgot to make contact with you. So he's got some lovely lady on his side. And Moria's like, oh, I see, well, I've kind of done something terrible to these people. He's like the Blackbeard pirates, they're notorious ability hunters, they steal people's devil fruits. And he's like, one of your power is one that many people would want. And Gecko Moria just gets cut down. The zombies get cut in half, heads lopped off, just all in one single slash. Moria's just kind of like, what the hell was that? And behind him, Shiryu the Rain. And he looks like he has the clear fruit. He comes out of thin air, reappears, and Shiryu just kind of tells him, he's like, your hunch was correct, Gecko Moria. I've obtained a useful ability. And Moria is just like, wait, you just turned invisible. He's like, that's Absalom's ability. So he just screams up to the Absalom up on the ledge, and he's like, who the hell are you? And Katarina Devon appears. But before I get to Katarina, I was going to say about Shiryu, he's the second ship commander. So they think that Pizarro is the fourth ship captain, and that they just confused it up in the translation or something. I'm not sure, but he's the second ship captain, and he's the invisible human with the power of the clear fruit. And then so we get to Katarina Devon, the Crescent Moon Hunter is her epithet, and she's the user of the dog fruit. Mythical beast model, 9-tailed fox, so she can turn into stuff. She transforms. It's kind of a different way of seeing the 9 tails from what I'm used to. I was only informed of 9 tails, or really understood besides Pokemon, until I read Naruto. But I guess there's different, translations or understandings of how its abilities work. There's probably a lot of lore behind it. But let's skip all that, because that wouldn't be fun. But, she was turned into Absalom. Apparently she can kind of shapeshift, similar to Mr. 2 Bon Clay. Or Betham. I'll just call him Bon Clay because I like Bon Clay. But very similar. At first when I saw this, I thought, did they kill Bon Clay? I'm like, God damn it, he survived Magellan, he survived everything and it built down. Like, you can't kill Bon Clay. He's up there. Dude, Bon Clay is in my top 5 for sure. I love Bon Clay. But no, she didn't. She ate a dog devil fruit, and Moria's just like, pissed off now. He knows Absalom's dead. And they're just like, we couldn't let him snoop around. And Katarina just says, if you're looking for him, I put his corpse right here. We know how much you like corpses, right? And it's the one thing you can give Moria. There's a little bit redeeming about him. He was the laziest person trying to become Pirate King. Just wanted everyone else to do the work for him. But it's because he gave up after he fought Kaido and lost his whole crew and all of his friends, except Absalom and Dr. Something back. Gosh, why can't I think of their names? Dr. Hogback. Yeah, Dr. Hogback and Perona. So he had a couple friends, actual living people that he entrusted and wanted to keep safe. So he's very heartbroken in the fact that Absalom's dead. And you get these Gecko Moria. And Shiryu and all of them are just kind of shaking. Apparently Blackbeard's causing a bit of an earthquake. And Blackbeard calls over, he's like, "Don't disturb the order of the pirate island." And Moria's getting pissed. He's like, "Blackbeard," he's like, "Show yourself." And Blackbeard's like, "Nah, I'm busy right now." He's like, "This island is a paradise for pirates. Like, you're supposed to have a good time here." He's like, "Do you like parties, Moria?" He's like, "If you do, come sail under my flag." He's like, "You see the news this morning? Quite entertaining on the 4th day of the reverie." So, I guess time frame. It is only 4th day in the reverie. Reverie's a week long. And Absalom had been here for a couple days, so that's what's weird. Maybe he was just at Reverie for the first day and left from there to this island. I don't know. It's really weird to me. I swear he would. I mean, there's an image of a flash coming from nothing, and it would be Absalom. He was a famous reporter at this point. Anyways, just drop that for now. All will be explained. We get to see Blackbeard for the first time post time skip. Real first time. I guess you see him for a second, but this is like his post time skip. They showed some stuff that happened before and then went to the time skip. And it was like him trying to sell off Jewelry Bonnie to it's him trying to sell off Jewelry Bonnie to the Marines and trying to get a ship, and then they tried to screw him over, and so they just bailed out. And so Blackbeard's just kind of informing us a little of what happened in the newspaper. He's like, in order to rescue Kuma, the commanders of the Revolutionary Army finally clashed with the Marines with the Marine admirals Ryukyugu. I can't pronounce it. In order to rescue Kuma, the commanders of the Revolutionary Army, finally clashed with the Marine admirals, Ryukyugu and Fujitora. I don't know if I can pronounce that dude, Ryukyugu. I think that's how it's pronounced, but I'm also could be butchering it. Then we get Blackbeard, and we get to see his bounty: 2,247,600,000 berries. Insane, man. He's absolute mad lad. But yeah, he's got full beard finally. He's not rocking the stubble like myself here. This is scrawny crap. He's got this full beard. Very pirate-esque. It looks like he's grown a little. I mean, literally the women next to him aren't even as large as his, like, almost his calf. It's like seriously almost Whitebeard status, but not quite that big, but he looks pretty big. And he's just like, on the other side of things, Straw Hat is a hot topic in Wano country. He's like, where Kaido's staying. Like, all these hot-blooded brats. He's like, gathering on that island. He's like, with enraged Emperor Big Mom in hot pursuit. Like, what do you think will happen? He's like, it's already started. The bloodbath between the powerful and the fight for the throne. And he just laughs. And that's one thing admirable, I guess, about Blackbeard is he loves the chaos of everything. Luffy doesn't get bothered by it, but Blackbeard thoroughly enjoys just people scrambling and confused. And that's where we leave off with Blackbeard. It was great to see you, bud. We needed that. Definitely a lot of hype around this chapter. People are calling this the best chapter that's been released in One Piece yet, but they were saying that with Katakuri fights. They were saying that with a bunch of stuff. I feel like it changes every week. But no, it was really good. Really, really good part of the chapter. Then we get Wano Country Act 2. Curtains draw back, strumming of the guitar again, and it's just hot. And we see a bunch of we hear a bunch of fighting at Mount Atamayama, I think is how I pronounce it, which is cool. It's just this mountain with one sole tree above it. And we see Inuyasha and Ashura Doji or shooting Maru. And apparently they're charging and clashing swords with each other. And everyone's just kind of tense watching. Kinemon's there, Kiku's there, shooting Maru's men's there. And they're fighting under this sakura tree. Kinemon's like, let's stop this here. Inuyasha, Ashura. And cuts over to Kuri, the Amagasi village, where we see Hitetsu. And Tama's waking up, and she's like, thank you very much. And Hitetsu's like, we are in your debt. And, Chopper's just like, I'm just glad the wounds were shallow. And Tama, kind of just says, she's like, I lost consciousness. I don't really remember what happened. Like, I remember the Umami-chan fighting desperately for my life, And he's like, to think an enemy like that would become your servant. He's like, what an amazing ability you have. And so, I don't know who's saying that, but it almost looks like either Chopper or the other mink doctors, kind of let him know. And Tom was just like, I'm more concerned with, big bro Luffy. He's like, he has really bad injuries. And Chopper's like, nah, he's fine. He's got monster recovery, like just super quick recovery skills. And the spirit just can't be broken. And he's like, well, Raizo's working on it. He's gonna figure out how to break into the prison. And he said he would do it himself, so let's just leave it to him. And then Chopper's like, nin, because, he loves being a ninja. I freaking love the ninja shit. So good. But, back to Mount Atamayama. And, I think Kiku's saying, I've misjudged you, Ashura. And he says, Kiku, like, be grateful I'm leaving without taking any of your belongings. Like, did you forget our relationship has been like this since the beginning? I admired a man named Odin, so I, a samurai, risked my life for him. However, I don't remember swearing to serve the Kazuki family. And Carrot's kind of like, whoa, he was even a Master Inuyasha. And Ashura even says, like, isn't that right, Momonosuke? And Kinemon's trying, he's pleading with him. He's like, you should be the one who remembers the type of person that I am. He's like, I'll definitely make you an ally. And Ashura's just like, I'll command you if you can do that. Like, did you think that everyone would be happy? The Kazuki family samurai have returned. Like, you abandoned this country for 20 years. The blank that you left behind will never be filled. And then we get to see on the Onigashima Island, where Kaido resides specifically. You hear someone say, hey, Jack, the offerings from Kuri have been pretty low lately. So I don't know how far they've skipped from this. Maybe it's only been like 4 days. But someone's talking with Jack, and he's like, with Doflamingo gone, you do know where to go for our next trade deal, don't you? And, some of the crewmen are like, man, they're mad at Jack again. Jack is being scolded. Who the hell scolds Jack, right? Well, other calamities is who. We got Beast Pirate All-Stars, King the Wildfire, and Beast Pirates All-Star Queen the Plague. And man, they're doozies. They're pretty cool looking. Kind of crazy designs and some interesting things to kind of point out about them. And so, one of the guys who's king, he says, we already have one burdensome person here. It's that idiot queen. And that's the person sitting next to King. And kind of break down King for you. King is this massive being. He's got big black wings on his back. He's wearing this like full, it's like a BDSM suit. It's like all leather bound straps across his face. He's got goggles on top, spikes coming out of everywhere. And this crazy suit looks like black latex almost. But the suit is actually similar to those who work in the Impel Down prison. So he looks like one of the guards or one of the leaders from Impel Down. So someone who probably worked under Magellan, just like Shiryu. He's wearing a very similar outfit, some of the same designs and badges on him. And next to him, Queen's like, "That's right, we only need one, and it's that scumbag king. You understand, Jack the Drag Down?" I love, instead of Drow, he's dragged down. But Queen is an Okama. Not as massive as the last Okama, the one a part of the Revolutionary Army. His name's definitely not in my head right this second. But I'd imagine he's one of the, I think there are like 5 Okamas that are like renowned around the world as these famous Okamas. But yeah, Queen the Plague is this massive man, woman, transgender person. Uh, Big ponytail, bald on top though. Fu Manchu mustache, smoking a cigar, wearing glasses. Got one glove on one arm. It almost looks like God a mechanical arm on the right hand. Because he, she, whatever is actually working with some like gears and screws. And I wouldn't be surprised if somewhat inclined like Frankie technologically. And you have Jack apologizing. He looks nervous. He's like, "I'm sorry, big brothers." And so I guess I can call Queen a man. And more deadly calamities to watch out for. And King's like, "You're no better, Queen. How long does it take for you to break the spirit of a few cheeky brats, you incompetent?" He's like, "You're incompetent." And, Quinn's just like, "You shut your trap, you torture-loving pervert bastard." And so they're all just arguing amongst themselves. Hot-headed boys right there. Yeah. Chapter 925, The Blank. So yeah, we're caught up currently again. Got us back up. We're going to be back down to 1 chapters a week. Hopefully, that should be the plan. If I fall behind, I'm just going to do these. I do 2 at a time. It's not too hard to edit these. These are about the same length as if I really go down on 1 chapter. But, yeah. Caught up again. Feels good. And, yeah, new chapter releases tomorrow. I'll probably try to get to that by Friday. Or, no, actually, if I don't work early Friday, if I don't work till 12, I can probably do it that night when it comes out. We'll see. And anyways, Snoop Reviews, out. Gonna go edit this and enjoy. Like holding fingers up in the air, no reason.